Hey guys, it's Devon online name Reaperwiz. I got third place here at Wasilla at the Duelist Advanced Regional on August 23rd, playing Pure Sky Striker. So without further ado, I'll just get to the list. Pretty standard, I feel like.
We expected like 17.
Got 3 raid, 2 rows, you play 2 Beacons of Desires. Striker package is 3 engage, 3 linkage, 3 widow, nothing to say about that. Multi-roll, some people cut this, I don't feel like that's right. This gives you the grind and speed you need against a bunch of decks in the format right now without multi-roll. A lot of times we'll send on like a 0 and an anchor pass, and that's garbage, it's not enough. So, drones of course, and then 2 Lemnis Gate. This is honestly a lot stronger than most people give it credit for. There's 2 different times today where I got to resolve it to bounce 5 cards in 1 fucking resolution, so that's pretty crazy. And it's also pretty important that you keep this in your deck for the grind game. If you don't want it banished off Desires, so you want it at 2. Very strong card. And that completes it for the Striker package. Afterburners and Shark Cannon is pretty unnecessary. Shark Cannon doesn't do enough in current format. It's a pretty poor surge. And Afterburners is just worse Lemnis Gate now. And then of course, draw spells, 3 Upstart, 3 Pot of Desires. They're both at 3, the best draw cards in the game that are legal, so if you want to play them. Draws on the format anymore, so you always want to main deck Upstart. Then 3 Thrust, that's basically just copies 4, 3, 6 of Engage. Every Striker deck should play it. If you don't play it, you're not playing it right. 3 Droplet, great card in Striker. It allows you to send spells in mid-chain to dodge stuff like Draco Tail traps. You can also dodge like Drill Beam against Primite, and it also just puts a spell on resolution. So if you have 2 in graveyard, you activate Engage and chain this, it'll resolve, and you get to draw 1 on a resolution. The 1-ofs, called by Rhoda Talents, Power Spells, Consistency. Then hand traps, literally. 3 Imperm, 3 Songs, and then Black Goat as your thrust talent, or your thrust target going first. You just play these hand traps instead of standard hand traps in this deck, because what you're aiming to do is just not activate any of the K9's bonus effects. So this build plays very well into K9. Song's lockout doesn't really matter, because the only thing it locks you out of is Rose hand effect and Ray's Graveyard Revive, which don't really matter, because you really care about just 0 and Kagari in this deck, so it really doesn't matter with the lockout. So that's it for the main deck. It's a Type 40. It's essentially the Japan WCK list that won during V9. KSV9's like tier 0 format a few months ago. For extra deck, 1 Hayate, 1 Kaya, 1 Shizuku. You don't really need more than that because you can recycle 3 Kagari, because it's the best link 1 in the deck. It recycles everything, lets you loop Engage. Azalea, that's just there as a Lemnis Gate summon, and sometimes going second it does actually help you out boards. Zeke, Lemnis Gate helps you out boards. 2-0. Best card they've ever played for Striker. They unfortunately gave it a restriction where you can't use both effects in the same turn, so Rogue, not meta, but very good. Azalea, this didn't come up. I've had this come up maybe once in every 20 matches at most. For Dark climbing into Access Code. No, that's not Access Code. For Dark climbing into Access Code, it's just kind of a package. There's a couple of times where this will come up where you can summon this off the Lemnis Gate Graveyard effect, but it's very rare when that happens. Sometimes you just need this. It's not mandatory. You can swap this out for anything, but there are some matchups where you're going to need this to blow up back row resources, or else you're just going to fall too far behind. SP, because SP is SP, and then Evil Swarm. This card is a lot better than I gave it credit for, and it is fantastic in this deck. There's more than a few times where I actually would just normal summon Rose and Ray out of my hand, force a couple of interruptions immediately using Hexaton, and if they tried to impermanent or Veiler it, I'd be able to just dodge immediately with linkage and then blow up their board anyways. So this overperformed today. It kept forcing the gates. It's pretty easy to summon, and even then if you don't open Ray Rose, you can just use Zero's second effect to summon this out and wipe the board. So it helps a lot more than you think. It's probably the best rank 4 you could play in this deck ever. Then the side deck, free draw, because people are still playing Mitsurugi Raizuel. Needed for that deck. Miserable. Freelancia, because there's some people here who still play Malice, and also there's a little Orcus running around. So Lancia is pretty necessary, or else Malice is a horrific matchup. Ham, in case you run into Lunalight, Towers, Crooked Cook, anything like that. Duster, good thrust target going second. 3 Raigeki. This, I was planning for the Yummy matchup today, because even if I tag out, it still destroys everything. All you need to do is just force an art play, and then pop some Raigekis, and we'll be able to clean them up. It's a pretty rough matchup. D-Barrier is a thrust target. And then going first, I used to play Solemn Strike here because it was better at negating hand effects, but ever since the advent of Yummy into the meta, you have to play Judgment or Warning now, because you can't negate Obedience School with Strike. And if they resolve Obedience School, Strike doesn't do anything against that. They just have too many resources to damage at that point. So Judgment or Warning is mandatory at this point. There's practically no changes that really make to the list. The only thing that changes in this in the coming months is when we get the Magnificent support for the essentially the lure for quick play draw spells. But after that point, this deck feels solved, feels very solid, feels good. It's not meta, but in a competent pilot's hand, it's very solid. For shout-out, I'd like to give a shout-out to all my boys. Nick, who's in town, Robin, Steven, Tyler, Michael, even though I knocked him out today, and he really wanted his invite, so I may have pissed him off. But everyone else, shout-out to them, and had a great time today.